At some point, Jewish culture became important to what you did. And was that always the case, or is there something to talk about?
No, that was something that Anthony and I talked about. I talked about it with Joey Barron, with Rebo. It was kind of an awareness. To me, it came about through when you hit 40, maybe you begin to look deeper inside yourself, your roots. You know, I looked at other musicians that I've been working with who were looking for their roots. Chad Bourne turned to country music. You know, Frizzell also, you know, moved in other directions. It's like, where are your roots? Who are you? I went to Japan and I lived there for 10 years off and on, learned a lot about the culture, and ended up feeling, well, this is not mine.
But no matter how long you would be there, you would never, right?
I could never really break through, you know? I mean, there was always kind of a wall, but deeper than that, it's just like, that's not who I am. Who am I? And well, part of who I am is being a Jew. And then I looked at all the musicians that I've been working with, and a very high percentage of them were Jews. And I was like, well, let me think about that for a minute. That's interesting. And then we got together and talked about it, and we began to do something about it. And it came out, of course, in musical ways, because that's what I do. I'm interested in making music. So the Kristallnacht may have been the first piece, Anth, that kind of touched upon
that. You
that,
really did that.
Where I really kind of said,
direction,
okay,
yeah.
let me deal with that.
Because we did it at the Munich Festival, which was
that was the heavy thing. That I was invited to go to Munich to do the art project. Is something that happened in '92, I believe.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Franz Abraham, he was still around, entrepreneur. This guy decided he wanted to hire maybe 3 or 4 artists, each to curate a day. They wouldn't just perform, but they would hire other people. Laurie Anderson did a day, and there were several others.
Ornette Coleman did a
day. That was one hell of a day.
I missed that. I'm sad I missed it.
Remember? Oh, you missed that? Oh, man. He had that poet dressed like Shakespeare who thought he was the reincarnation of Shakespeare, who was doing these prose poems. Like, wow, that was out. And then he had those people suspended from the ceiling by their nipples. Man. He was like at this S&M thing.
That was a thing.
Man, I kid you not. But you know, I mean, if you open the door to an artist, you better be ready for something. I got to tell you that's for sure. But anyway, so he gave me a day, and then I was thinking, well, let me do some Kaggle thing.
2 days.
Well, first he gave me a day, and then I was in the middle of all this Jewish mishigas. I said, well, you know what? Let me do a festival of just like Jewish musicians doing their thing. I'll call Lou Reed. I'll get Tim Byrne.
John Lurie.
I got John Lurie. I got all these guys. And he said, well, this is so fabulous. Let's do 2 days. So then we did 2 days. We expanded it. Kristallnacht premiered there. And I was kind of, off and running. Then, the label started. Radical Jewish Culture Series, began with that festival, which was called Radical New Jewish Culture. We did further festivals. I commissioned new work. We began recording. I did the Masada project after Kristallnacht. It was like, okay, enough complaining about how miserable it was. Let's celebrate, what we do have. And Masada was meant to celebrate as much as I can celebrate anything. Jews have a problem celebrating.
You know what Lenny Bruce
observe.
Right, that's what Lenny Bruce said.
They observe. They don't celebrate a holiday. They observe a holiday. So, we do the best we can under the circumstances. How was that?
It was great.
How was that, Hankus?